All right, hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am your co-host Juan Martinez, and next to me is your favorite sneaker YouTuber's favorite sneaker YouTuber. It's Jacques Slade.
I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if we can say that legally. I don't know if we can legally say that. I think
It's
that
not a trademark. I'm just saying.
I
I'm just
just
saying truth, man. I'm just
I'm
telling you
just
the
saying
truth.
I don't know if we can legally say that. I don't know. I think the lawyers might come back and say that that's not factually true, and so we're probably not supposed to say that.
Okay, there's got to be at least one sneakerhead who has a favorite sneaker YouTuber who thinks you're their favorite sneaker YouTuber. There's got to be
Okay,
at least one, right?
that might be accurate. Like a sneaker person knows who I am. I think it's probably the best way to say that. Yeah, that's probably the most
Uh,
accurate.
humble as always, humble as always.
Uh,
Jacques, you're not at your studio, man. You are somewhere
Somewhere
else.
yeah, I'm in
It's
beautiful San Antonio today.
ah
I'm here with of all people, Discount Tires. I had a Discount Tires hat. Where did I put it? They gave us hats today. Hold on, I have to find it because it'll be cool. It'll look cool, hopefully,
yes. Oh yeah, no,
possibly.
no problem. Get your discount tires hat. So Jacques Slade is in San Antonio,
There you go.
Texas,
I don't know if
and
this. I don't know
he
if this looks
is.
cool. There you
I'm
go.
not
I don't know
sure.
if that looks.
Well,
No, that doesn't. But this is what
that's
it is.
fun.
I'm here at the Treadwell experience for Discount Tires.
Okay.
Um, and basically I'm testing tires today, which is really odd thing to say from a sneaker guy, but it was a pretty cool experience today.
Wait.
Um, Something I just never expected, but
You're
I
you're
got to do all kind of crazy car stuff today.
okay. Oh, so you actually got like behind the wheel and like tested out
Yeah.
like tires?
Yeah. Like we were did like a
Wow.
wet ground testing trial thing. We did dry ground. We did off-roading,
Oh,
different
wow.
cars. We drove a Lotus today. It was pretty wild. It's a pretty cool, like the sort of it it made me think about sneakers differently, especially
Okay.
when it comes to like the testing process, like of outsole materials and how
Right,
outsoles are
right.
made and the different densities of an outsole.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and but yeah, it was pretty fascinating to see like how little people care about tires. They usually just buy the cheapest ones, but there's so much science to it that could probably benefit you if you paid a little bit more attention to it, which was pretty unique. It was pretty unique. I have a newfound respect for like the local tire shop. I'll say that.
Okay. So what you're saying is that the next time you go to like, get your tires changed for your car, you're gonna be a little bit more picky about like the type of tires that you
Yeah,
get for your
I'm
car.
a lot more educated now, so I'm probably going to be a little
Uh-huh.
more annoying if anything. That's probably if anything, I'm going to be a little more annoying to the people at the front desk.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna be like me who just goes up to the front desk and is like, all right, just what's the one that works? Like sometimes
Yeah,
depends
I'm.
on my financial situation at the time. I'm either like, all right,
Yeah,
just pick for me the one that works or whatever is just gonna get me by. Depending on what
yeah,
time it is, depending on what year it is. I mean, we could just go whatever, but I feel like you're gonna be in a different space now where
yeah.
you're gonna be like,
I'm gonna be way more annoying than that now. I'm definitely gonna be way more annoying. I'm an educated consumer, which is probably not the best thing for tire shops. So,
well,
yeah,
it's the best thing for you though.
that's the best thing for me. Yeah. And I'm. It's weird because I feel like I joined a cult today of like,
Okay.
yeah, because like now I'm like, more people need to know about this stuff when they're buying their tires. All we care about is like the
Sure.
pricing and stuff. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like now I want to be like a spread the word of like even not even that it's about discount tires, just tires in general. Just like when you're buying tires
Sure,
in general,
sure.
just be like, hey, I'm the I'm the new
The
tire
tire guru.
evangelist. Yeah, the
Are
new
you gonna be like the
tire.
tire whis? Are you gonna be like the tire whisperer, Jacques?
Yes, the new tire evangelist. I'm the new tire
Oh no.
evangelist.
Oh man, yeah,
Welcome,
Jacques Slade.
welcome. Come
Yes.
on in. Come on in. We're accepting
Come
of
on.
all. We're accepting of
Welcome to
all
the palace
people.
of welcome to the palace of tire wisdom. Amazing.
Yeah, but it was
Jacques.
pretty cool. It was a really cool experience today, though, for sure.
Oh no, that's cool. I mean, you got to go out to like San Antonio and everything. And I know when you told me that you were going, my first thought was, "Oh man, you're gonna get to go to the F1 race." But it's like, nope, nope, it's a different thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's in
man, no, it's
Austin. That's in
yeah, that's
Austin,
enough.
which is
Yeah,
like an
but
hour and a half away. So I won't
yeah,
get to experience any of the cool F1 ness.
well, that's a shame. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
like it's actually funny. Like I was talking to my brother the other day about it. It's like we're actually seriously considering going to San Antonio, to Austin next year for the race.
Mm.
And like, and I thought I was gonna be like, asking you like, oh man, hey, what's it like? But it's cool. But
No, I
I'm
won't be
glad
able to provide
not.
any insight. I'm
But
useless at this
now,
point. Mm.
yeah, but like next time I need some tires, I got a tire whisperer to like talk to now. So
Yes, I can definitely help you with that. I can definitely help you with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Jacques, you that's your interesting story to share. My story that I'm going to share for our rambling to the intro is I finally got a pair of Cactus Jacks,
Oh,
but
okay.
you'll notice that the size is not exactly what you would
Uh,
say is appropriate for
Hey,
me.
look. There's no judgment here, Juan. No judgment here, Juan. If you've got tiny feet, you've got tiny feet, bro. We don't
How
we
dare
don't
you?
judge here.
We have the shoe. We have the same shoe size. What are you talking about? You're one to talk. Well, anyways, so this is not actually for me. This is for my brand new nephew.
Oh,
He
nice.
Yes, one of my best friends got a new baby. Was born, I think it was like this past Saturday, I think. And to celebrate, I'm going to give him a pair of his first Jordans.
That's
And
very
it's going
nice
to
of you.
Yeah, so it's the I think this is the medium olive pair of Cactus Jacks.
That's
So it's
very
a
nice
size
of
9,
you.
so it's gonna be a while before he actually puts them on. But I thought it'd just be like a nice pair of J's to give to him. Mostly because like his dad has no swag, so I just had to like, make up
His
for him.
dad has no swag. That's
None,
funny.
none whatsoever. He has been blessed with sneakers that I have given him through the years, but every time I talk to him, I ask him, has he worn them? He says no. And his wife is like, I don't understand why I give him sneakers and he doesn't wear them, or he'll wear like the most plain ones or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I feel bad for this child. I have to be the
I
one who
feel
has to
bad for
actually.
this child.
I have to help him out. So if not, it's gonna be like cowboy boots and like whatever sandals he's gonna have on. So I'm like, we gotta like lace him up with something nice. After this, it's probably gonna be like some like New Balances or something. So, but we'll start him
So
off with
much
some J's.
shade. So much shade being thrown right now.
I don't care. I do not care, Jacques. This is one of my best friends. I've known him since middle school. I will say
Mm.
whatever I want about him.
Okay. All right.
He
All right.
deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves it. I
I,
hope he
I,
hears this.
I
I
I don't
hope
know if
he
deserve.
hears
I don't know
this.
if deserves is the word, but I.
I am going to clip this out and put it on my own personal Instagram so he can see it. And you know what? I'm gonna
Wow.
get a DM from his wife and be like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right, Juan.
Yeah, it's so true. You're so true. It's
it's
so
it's
true.
so true. I'm going to
Oh.
give him Jordans. I'm going to feed him Asian food. I am going to make sure that this child is gonna get the life that he deserves."
All right. I respect it. Diversify the child's taste. I like it. I like it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. Happy for my buddy, but yeah, no, he needs help. He needs help in that department, and
Okay.
I am more than welcome to provide that assistance.
You
Is what I'm
you will
getting at.
be the fashion foodie for
Well,
the
okay,
kid.
maybe not the fashion part. I'm not gonna say I'm like a stylish dude or anything like that. But the sneaker part I can help. The food part I can definitely help with.
Okay, all right, I
Yeah,
respect it.
yeah.
I respect it.
All right, cool. I'm glad we had this conversation. Well, moving on to the actual show, Jacques. Let's start
Yeah.
things off actually though with a mailbag question.
Okay.
Again, I appreciate the questions on the email. It's too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com.
At gmail dot
Again, that
com.
is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. I just thought I'd share this one in particular, Joe Jacques, because I thought it was pretty funny, I guess. So this one is from
Oh,
Alex,
okay.
and he's
What up,
coming to us
Alex?
from China. I was
Oh,
like, oh, cool. We got fans over there. Huh? Maybe he
that's
saw
cool.
you at the Enter thing.
Maybe, yeah, maybe someone else out there with Anta.
Yeah, cool.
Whichever one it is.
Yeah, all right. So the email goes, "Hey guys, love the show," and he doesn't understand why we get hate for saying Puma.
Puma.
To answer the question, Alex, it is a bit. It's basically just an inside joke on the show that we started because we heard Sir Lewis Hamilton say Puma, so we're like,
Puma.
we'll just say it that way too. Not
Yep.
really for any other reason. We didn't really start that to annoy anybody.
Yeah, it
It just
was
ended up that way. Like I thought it was going to be honestly, I thought we were just going to do it as a one-off,
as a one-off
and
because we
then
were talking about him. Yeah.
yeah, and then like we started noticing in the comments that people were like, some people thought it was funny, some people thought it was kind of like, hey, why are you guys saying it like that? That's not how you say it. So we're like, now we'll just keep going with it.
Now we'll just keep it going. Yeah, just to annoy people.
Yeah. Okay, so now the second part of that email is those, but what I don't understand is how Jacques said Ralph Lauren in the Jared Lorenzo segment. It's Ralph Lauren, not Lauren. And I thought to myself, wait, did you say Ralph Lauren? And then so I went back to the episode, and you didn't even say Lauren, you said Laron.
I said Ralph
And
Lauren. Ralph Lauren.
Laron, like Laron.
Lauren.
And I don't even like, okay. I mean, that's just how you say Ralph Lauren. And I'm like,
Lauren.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I guess. I mean, the real answer to this question is because I'm the ghetto, and that's why I said Ralph Lauren. And that's just me being, my broken ghetto English.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's probably Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is probably the proper pronunciation, but it's just my lazy broken ghetto English that says Ralph Lauren, and that's probably how it's. But I get it. I get it. I'll make sure. I'll try to be cognizant of that and say Ralph Lauren next time we talk about him, if
or
we
you're
ever
gonna say
talk
Laron.
about him again.
You're gonna say Laron again, and we're just gonna.
I'm
Alex
probably
is
gonna say it again. I'm probably gonna forget. But Ralph
Yeah.
Lauren, it's almost like some people say cement and I say cement.
I say it sometimes too. I say it's cement too. But you know where I get it from? I got it from. Was it the Beverly Hillbillies from back in like that old show? I think they said cement pond or something. Like there's
Oh,
like and
so it's
I did
probably
like
it's
I
probably
think
a country thing. My people from the country, so that's probably where it is.
yeah, I think
Cement.
cement pond is like their way of saying swimming pool. I think that's how that went in the show.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
sometimes when I see like the word cement, I'll say cement.
yeah,
Not for nothing. I just like hear it that way, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
yeah. I
But
it's called a cement, but
cement, black
I
cement.
get it.
Yeah, no,
Whatever.
all good, all good. All right, so thank you for that email, Alex. And if anybody has an email, you know where to go. Too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. All right, so moving on to our first topic of the show, Jacques. On the heat check, I noticed that we had a couple of things on there that I thought were pretty interesting. There was like, there's like going to be coming this week. There's going to be like an Adidas Ford 3D printed sneaker that's going to come out. I guess it's called the Climacool.
Oh, okay.
And then there's going to be a running shoe that's going to be like a takedown version of their $500 running shoe that came out like earlier this year. That was worn by somebody who won the Olympic gold medal in them.
Which is
So
dope.
this one's going to be like $150 version. And I saw that, and then I also saw like the news of the reveal of the Harden Volume 9, and there's a lot of positive feedback about that. And there's also like, people talking about the AE2, the Dame 9, and even like Donovan Mitchell's latest signature sneaker, the Don 6.
Yeah, the
And
Don Six. I think he did a candy collab, right?
Yeah. With I think it's Haribo.
Gummy bears.
Uh,
Gummy
yeah,
bears
gummy.
collab.
Yeah, the
Gummy
gummy
bear.
bears. The gummy
Yeah, yeah,
bears. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And it got me to thinking though, Jacques. Like, I don't know if you have like a similar take or something like that, but like, is this Adidas basketball kind of like surpassing Nike basketball in a way in terms of like people responding to it and people
Ooh.
getting hyped for it? Because when you look at the LeBron 22, people are just like, oh, it's just another one of those. The KD 17, like it's just well, it's another KD. The Freak 6, the Jaw 2, there's really not a lot of energy for them. Not like with Adidas, like
Yeah.
with and I don't know what it is, but I just started noticing it like in the social media. There's a little bit more. I mean, they're still hating, but that's just how that is. It's the
Yeah,
internet.
that's
Like you're
gonna
always
happen
gonna have like.
regardless. Yeah, yeah.
But there's just this seems like the ratio this time though seems to be like more positive
On the
responses
Adidas side
to
of
on the
things.
Adidas side, and
Yeah.
I can't ever remember a time when that was the case. Like to be quite honest, like obviously there was like that really really tough times when D Rose got hurt, and like
Yeah.
Adidas just couldn't do anything right for like
So,
several years. But it seems like there's like this shift, and I don't know if it's gonna really translate to like sales because Nike's always like they just have like a huge lead margin compared to like the
yeah.
competition, but in terms of like public perception and the public opinion, it seems like Adidas might be like making some strong headwinds. And to be quite honest, like they do look more interesting to a certain degree, especially like the Harden 9 and the AE2. I feel like they're, I don't know if they're like better in terms of like who knows how they are performance wise. We don't know until we actually get our like hands and feet on them.
Yeah.
But it seems like at least from the design standpoint, from the aesthetic standpoint, there seems to be a lot more risk taking or just trying something different, you
Uh-huh.
know. And like with the LeBrons and the KDs, it seems to be like more of the same. And so that's why I feel like maybe there's that. Maybe that's why we have this response from the people. It's like Adidas seems to be like doing well in that regard.
Yeah, well, two things. I think you're correct that Adidas is eating a little bit of Nike's lunch right now when it comes to signature athletes in the basketball space.
Mm-hmm.
They've been able to really change their design language for the last few years that I think has resonated with the public. I actually
Mm-hmm.
don't think I think it started with Harden and
Mm.
his shoe, and that's the one that really kind of started the change. And then Edwards shoe, was Harden's last shoe before Anthony Edwards the AE one? I think we saw that before the AE one.
Yeah, there was like some confusion initially. Like I think people thought the AE1 was gonna be like the what turned out to be the Harden 8 or whatever. It was one of those things where like people mistook
Yeah,
one for the other. But
but I think
regardless,
yeah, I
oh, go
think it
ahead. Yeah.
started with Harden. I think the energy started with Harden, and it translated to Anthony Edwards. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
Harden has that feather in his cap, and his new pair looks really nice too. I think
Yeah,
I like the way the new pair looks. Some people are comparing it, saying it's a Yeezy knockoff, but when are they not saying something's a Yeezy knockoff? Like that's
I know, right?
it's just like it's it's almost like an insult to the sneaker community. It's like they can't find more creative ways to explain a shoe, and so they just kind of default to Yeezy, which is kind of
Yeah.
disappointing that that's the only reference point that they have for design.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do think Adidas is cooking in a way that most of us didn't anticipate,
No.
and I like that they are because
Mm-hmm.
it one gives Nike an opportunity to push beyond what they usually do. Like, hey, we're kind of losing in this arena. Like, people are starting to ignore what we're doing, and I feel like that's going to make them push harder. And hopefully, it also pushes Adidas harder. Like, hey, we have something going here. How do we continue to build on this and make this even better? Which is
Mm-hmm.
something that it's always they always seem to be fighting from an underdog position, and now that they're on top, they got to find. And I hope they can find the energy. Like, okay, we found something. Let's capitalize on this. And the other thing I was going to say, and yet you mentioned earlier, was KD. I'm not sure what it is about Kevin Durant, but his sneakers just aren't hitting the way that they used to. And I had high hopes for this one because it was so different than what we kind of expected from KD. And like it had a very like
Mm-hmm.
Air Max sort of feel from it. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought there was going to be some more energy around it. but that
Hmm.
did not turn out to be the case at all. It's almost like it's being ignored. And I don't know if that's because people don't like the KD 17 in particular, or
Right.
has the Nike fatigue just hit a point that no matter what they do, people are just like, whatever. It is what it is.
And that's the weird part though, is because I think we did have a similar thought about the KD 17. It did have like that Air Max energy, and I
Yeah.
thought maybe like releasing it in colorways that kind of had that Air Max feel
Uh-huh.
would kind of help out with that. But it really hasn't really translated to people talking about it or sharing it on the socials. And I've seen it in stores, and
Yeah.
there's that one pair that kind of reminds me of like the Air Penny one, and it's
Uh,
on sale. I mean, to
yeah.
a certain degree, if you're a KD fan, you're like, oh, cool, these are on sale. I can get them right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
But
great. Which is great, by the
which is
way.
great, which is great for a consumer. But also, if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, you're like, oh, we kind of had high hopes for the KD 17.
Yeah.
And and you're right, they did try something different because it has been kind of like more of the same with KD for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
And it's even gotten to a point where like people don't even care about his retros, which is shocking, right?
Right.
Because 10 years ago, if you had told me like, whenever the KD4's retro, people are just not going to care about that. I'm like, you're kidding. You're
There's
lying to
no
me. There's
way. Yeah.
no
Like,
way.
there's no
There's no way,
way.
right?
Yeah.
Like to recall the madness surrounding the KD4 Galaxy or the Weathermans or the Nerfs. Like we were
Yeah.
there. We were there when those things were like selling for thousands. Well,
The
some of them were selling
hysteria
for
was the
thousands.
hysteria was
That hysteria was
crazy.
it was real. And then to just see them just languish in stores. Like to a
Yeah.
certain degree, there's something neat about that. It's like, oh, people who wanted them back then could finally get them. But also it's like, oh wow, just we have just reached this point where Katie, like, is it part of it because of Kevin Durant though? Just in general, he just doesn't have the same like.
You
Okay,
think
he's
so?
not
You
like
think it's a
I
Kevin
don't
Durant thing?
like I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is like, does it feel like there's like a Kevin Durant? There's a part of it that it's regard to KD himself, where like he like there's like this bit where like sometime last year someone asked him about his own shoes and he was like, it's another one of those. And like it's kind of like this laissez-faire like take to the shoes where if he doesn't care, why should we care kind of thing.
Yeah, like
Where
I wonder if
like
is that a Nike decision? Because it does feel like he doesn't care about his shoes anymore, or
right, it feels
Nike
like
doesn't care about that because they don't promote them the way that they used to,
mm-hmm,
which
mm-hmm.
is which is sad, which I miss. I miss like the athletes being all about their sneakers, and like you don't get that.
It's like they're just going through the motions at this point. Like with LeBron, you mean they just did that ad, so there's still something there. And but with KD, it seems to be like, well, we have to do another one because he's still here. We have him signed to a big deal,
Uh-huh.
and we're kind of just like going through the motions. And why? I don't know. What are we doing here? To a certain
Yeah,
degree, right? And it would be weird. Also, but also at the same time, it'd be weird if they just gave up. Like if they just did a Paul George, or if they did like they just decided, oh, in Katie's final years, we're just not going to do a signature shoe. I also feel that would be also kind of weird, right?
yeah. It's almost like they're just like, oh, we're gonna do what like we don't. It's almost like they don't care anymore. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very strange position for KD to be in.
Yeah.
I wish it was yeah.
I wish there was also like I wish like that we would get some insight into this at some point. Like, maybe Katie would actually talk about it. But switching gears though to like Harden, like we're on
Mm,
the ninth signature shoe with James Harden, right? Like it's
yeah.
kind of crazy that it took this long for like, I mean, I think there was like people already like hyping up like the eights and the sevens, but I feel like the energy and like the excitement for the nine is a little bit different compared to even those two. And I'm just glad that, I mean, it's kind of weird that it took us this long to get to a point
Yeah.
where like people are like really hyped for a Harden shoe. But I'm glad we got there though. Cause like, we were both there. I think we were there. Were you there at like the launch of the Harden one?
Yes.
I think it was in Houston. And like people, it was like this big deal. Like, Adidas really made it seem like this is gonna be like their face of the brand and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt like I think there was a lot of energy for it initially, but it's kind of just like, through the years, not really like a lot of attention being paid to it. But like, then a stride, then like the 7 happened and the 8 and now the 9. It's like they finally hit the stride. It took a while, but I'm just glad we got there though. I'm just glad we
Yeah,
got
like it's
there.
like it started with the like he had the one and then was it the two? Did we make it to the two? And like after the two, it just like nosedive. It just
Yeah,
like just no completely nosedive. But then
yeah,
it popped off again.
yeah.
And now like the last two modern, well the last modern at least, and hopefully this one as well, has some crazy energy around it. But it needs that energy. Like Adidas needs that energy.
And they're doing it right now with Anthony Edwards, so hopefully, like they bring some of that to Harden as well, and so
Yeah.
we kind of get we so hopefully we get that. So yeah, no, it's just a small observation that I had,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I'm just glad that we can get this variety. Like Adidas is doing well. It seems like a lot of there seems to be some energy for like Curry's next shoe. I mean, ever since like the Curry brand, I feel like people have just been more checking for Curry in general ever since we kind of got
Yeah.
away from like the UA logo of it all.
Yeah,
So
I don't know
I'm
if
just glad.
De'Aaron Fox is gonna have that energy, but I feel like at least Curry's energy is kind of ramping up again. It's
Yeah,
getting like there's
yeah.
people are showing interest again, I guess.
And part of it may be because like, oh, we forgot how good Steph was. Like, the Olympics kind of help with that regardless.
Oh,
Like,
oh, that's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
point. The Olympics, like, because their team hasn't been doing particularly well,
which is
but
weird because they won a championship like 2 years ago. But like, we
right, yeah,
it's we're so quick to forget like how good Steph Curry is, and he just every once in a while he'll just prove to you like, hey guys, I'm still here. I still
yeah,
shoot lights out.
yeah.
I'm still that guy, everybody. So don't forget,
I'm
don't
still
forget.
Mr. Night Night. I'm still Mr.
You're
Night
still
Night.
Mr.
Yeah.
Night Night. Yeah, All
Under
right,
Armour should do
cool,
a
cool.
commercial for that Mr. Night Night. I should make a
I know
commercial.
you're right. It is surprising that I haven't tried that yet. No, Under Armour,
Yeah.
if you're listening, you give us a call. We got
Hi,
ideas. We got
hi,
ideas.
we can put something together for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There's that LeBron energy.
my Ralph Lauren, Lauren, LeBron,
Oh
Lauren.
yeah.
That's funny.
So, moving on to the next topic, Jacques. So, this was a post on Nice Kicks, and I thought it was kind of interesting. They reposted a tweet by JaeTips, who a lot of
Uh,
people know for his popular collabs with Saucony. And I guess he was telling a story about his daughter getting roasted for wearing, funny enough, Cactus Jack ones, but not this colorway, the canary yellow ones.
uh-huh.
And I guess his daughter was getting roasted for wearing those, while that kid, I guess, who was roasting his daughter was wearing New Balances. And that got people talking about like, oh, we're like in a different world now, where like people wearing Jordans are kind of getting clowned on, while New Balance is the thing.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought that was interesting. Like, just the people talking about it. I was like, well, I don't know if that really has anything to do with like, it's kids. Like, I mean, they're
Uh,
just gonna kind of make fun of whatever they see. And I don't know if that really has anything to do with the Jordans and more the fact that that colorway is kind of not really popping. It's a funky looking colorway, the canary yellow one.
yeah, I can think that's
What?
it.
Wait, hold on, hold on. What is that?
No, I
I,
knew that. I knew that was
I
coming.
saw. I
I
just.
knew that was
I
coming.
saw. I saw it like I could see it before you were gonna start laughing. I could see your face. For people who are like just listening to this, like when I was starting to describe like the canary yellow and like about to say that it didn't look good, Jacques had this face of like he was about to like just burst out with laughter.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I was waiting for that. Like that Laney colorway is not easy to digest, let's say. And
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I think
maybe J Tip's daughter was getting kind of clowned for that more than like the Jordan in general,
yeah. But also
but
like you
yeah,
said, they're kids. Kids are gonna talk about you regardless. You could
yeah,
have the freshest or the dopest or the coolest or the most lit, I don't know what the kids are saying. The the best looking outfit on, and
yeah.
if they're your real friends, they will make fun of you regardless of what you
Oh,
got on.
absolutely,
You could have the most
absolutely,
expensive thing on, and they'll be like, "Hey, look at this guy! Look at this guy! Who does this guy think he?" Like they're gonna burn you up regardless. So I mean,
exactly.
I don't know if that's a reflection. I think I'm in your boat where I don't know if that's a reflection on Jordan, so to speak. Even though,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's clear that Jordans are falling out of the good graces of the sneaker head person, I guess. I'm trying to I,
It's not
I
what it
just
was. Let's be honest. It's not what it
yeah.
was like before, you
It's
know?
not what it's not what it was, but they're also really I just literally just hit me while I was saying that. It's not what it was, but they're also selling a lot more now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
Yeah.
not the fact that it's not what it was. Maybe the numbers are. I wonder what the number difference is. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder
Yeah.
what the revenue, if the revenue is any different, versus kind of when things were at their peak, when they were releasing less production numbers. Now they're releasing larger production numbers, but they're releasing more shoes. So I wonder if the numbers still equate. I wonder what I just literally had that thought inside of my head while we were
Yeah.
saying that. But yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a reflection on Jordan and probably a reflection, like you said, on the colorway or
Mm-hmm.
just kids being kids and finding something to
Yeah.
talk about.
I feel like that's just like kids being kids in that regard. Like, I mean, JaeTips was just sharing that story. I don't think he was like
Uh,
trying to make like a greater statement about like the state of sneaker culture or anything like that. It was just more like, oh, that's an interesting observation. It wasn't anything to like say like, this is how it's not. I don't think he's trying to say like it's messed up or it's like whatever. It's like it's just more like, oh, this thing happened, and you guys could talk about it, but I'm not really gonna say anything.
I think
Like,
he said when I think by him saying something was him saying something. Because
sure,
if
sure, I
someone
guess
just
you're right. Mm-hmm.
made fun of a kid that was wearing Skechers, it wouldn't have been a conversation. Like he said, but him at this true it's true. Him making him saying him asking the question was his way of
I guess.
saying something.
Yeah.
And
Well, Jacques,
considering
do
who
you
he is also, so his ties to sneaker culture, I think it's pretty
hmm
obvious why he brought it up.
like Jacques? Do you have any experiences when you were a kid, like with your sneakers, or you getting clowned on or anything like that? Like, I don't know. I can't. Okay, well, go ahead. Like, if you have any.
God, I don't think so. That's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I don't either. Like,
I hung with like basketball players basically my whole all the time from junior high basically to high school, and we all
yeah,
wore for most of the time we wore pretty crappy shoes because we would play basketball at lunch, and we would just
yeah,
tear the shoes up. So
yeah.
I never wore like really nice shoes because they were gonna get tore up because I was gonna play basketball in them ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like when I was growing up, like we had that one shoe every year, right? Like you could
Mm-hmm.
get like your one, and I would try to like convince my parents to like buy me like whatever the I think it was like one year it was like the Up Tempo 97 or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
like there was that one year it was like the Air Penny one, and you had to wear that the whole year. Like they would look great on the first couple of days at school, but
Yes.
eventually, like throughout the year, it would just be like it would just look
Get
terrible by the end of the
class.
year. But I do remember though one time when I was already doing the sneaker thing, I had a pair of like I think it was like the Reebok Questions. It was like the I think it was like the collab with Packer shoes when they had like a colorway of the Lakers, like the PEs that Kobe wore, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like white and purple color of the Questions, and I forget where I was, but there was a kid. There was like a group of kids passing by, and they said, "Hey, yo, those are fake," and I'm like,
Oh.
"What?" And I thought to myself like, "What? Oh, oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, I'm a grown adult, and like these kids are like, they could be like whatever, like middle school age kids passing by, and they're like trying to clown my shoes, and they're saying it's fake because I don't know, maybe they've never seen it on the blogs or something like that, and I'm just like, okay, you guys think these are fake? Y'all have a good day now, kids. Don't. I don't know. I didn't know how to respond to it because I've never been like called
Oh.
out in that way. I've never had like that. What are those? Like it was like a big deal back in like those like those are. It never happened to me. I mean, unless with like you with your friends, you kind of make those jokes. You're right, but like
Yeah.
no stranger has ever come up to me and said, "What are those?" Other than that time to say that my shoes were my Reebok Questions in that were purple and white and purple were fake. And I thought I was like, oh well, that's interesting. But
I guess I do get that online every once in a while. Someone will be like, "Oh, those are reps or those are fake," because sometimes I get stuff super early. I
but not
shouldn't
in
even say
person.
super early, but not in person. No one's ever done it in person. I'll get
Yeah.
like
So
Twitter or Instagram comments of like fakes or reps or whatever it is. And I'm like, nah, that ain't me. Sorry, I get it. No, no shade to people that do it, but I
yeah.
don't do it. That's not how I get down.
Exactly. Same way. I'm just like, okay, well, you believe what you want. You believe what you want to
Yeah,
believe. I'm not. It's not my job to convince you that these aren't fake.
right.
It's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
like, all
not.
right, dog. It's like, all right, dog.
Like
I got you.
I don't have it in me to convince you. Like, no, look, here's my receipt. You know, I don't
Sure.
like. Here's the email that confirms that these are legit. I don't have that energy to like
I would never. I would
clap
never.
back.
They just have to be. They just be like, all right, cool. They fake then. You
Cool. Like,
said it.
yeah, you
Yeah.
believe what you want to believe. I'm not gonna engage. It's like,
Yeah, I'm not engaging that. I don't have it. There's no reason for me to engage that. No,
yeah,
not even
yeah.
close.
So,
Like I hear you.
but
I appreciate you, fam. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for putting me up
yeah,
on game because I didn't know.
exactly right. Thanks for putting me up on game.
Yeah. Now I know. Now I know. Thank you.
Now I know. Now I know that these sneakers that I bought directly from so and so place is fake.
The sneakers that I bought directly from Nike are fake. All right, thanks.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna let them know. Hey, did you know that these are fake? That I bought it from you guys. Some kid told me that, and
Some kid I passed in the
yeah,
street.
they are the authorities. So I guess they are fake. So what are we gonna do about this, huh?
They put you on blast on They put you on TikTok, Juan. Be careful.
Yeah, what we gonna do about it, Mark Parker? I mean, John Dono. I mean, what's the new guy's name
Elliot.
now? Elliot. Hill or Smith? It's all. I always get confusing it. It's either Hill or Smith. But anyways, we'll get it right at some point. We'll get it right.
We'll get it right at some point. I got to get it
Someday,
right.
someday.
Otherwise, they're never gonna let me. They're never gonna let me interview him.
Oh,
They'll be like,
that's
"You
true.
don't
That's
even know
true.
his name. You don't even know his
Wow.
name."
Wow. No, you'll get to interview him at some point, Jacques. So,
Oh well, fingers crossed. If
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Nike be
Let's make it
ignoring my
happen.
request, Nike ignores my request. I see Jacques Slade, and they be like, "Delete, delete, forward,
Well,
delete."
all right. Well, moving on to something a little bit more light, like a lighthearted topic, Jacques.
Okay,
I don't know if you. Okay, so what would you say was like your prime video game era? Like, what
my
would you say
prime
was like?
video game era.
Was
So
it like?
I think the Halo era, original Halo era, was like
Mm-hmm.
my prime video game
Uh
era.
huh. Uh huh.
That was like the peak of me playing or being like fully engaged. I honestly played video games before, I played video games after, but
Right.
that was like the main I'm playing every single day as much as I possibly can whenever I can. Like that was that time for me.
Cool. Well, prior to that, were you more of like a PlayStation kid or an N64 kid?
N64.
N64. What would you say were like your favorite games at the time?
Gosh, well, James Bond, GoldenEye rather.
Right. Right.
Um,
That's the one.
and then Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
We went pretty hard on Mario Kart.
Yep. Did
Um,
it ever get heated?
oh yeah, all the time. So much trash talk. And then I think it was called. Oh God, I haven't played it. I haven't even seen it in years. I think it was Snowboard 180 or what was it?
1080, 1080,
Um,
1080 snowboarding.
1080, 1080
Yeah.
snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So so
I still have yet to this day be gone snowboarding, but we spent
that's your connection.
hours on that game.
Mm-hmm.
Hours
Yeah.
trying
I
tricks. That was so bad.
take it from somebody who's gone snowboarding exactly once. Not worth that. No, I don't get it.
No, right.
No. No.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
As
My nephew.
somebody who crashed out so many times just trying to get on that bunny slope, which is like the easiest slope, I was like,
Uh,
no, you know what, this ain't for me. This is gonna be a no
Gotcha.
for me, dog. This is gonna be a no for me, dog. Well, anyways, the only reason I ask is because if you have any N64 cartridges laying around, this might be something that you might be interested in because Analog, which is a company that produces these consoles that upgrade, update like these games and like make them compatible with today's like TVs, make them
Mhm.
look good in like HDMI. They're releasing what they're calling the Analog 3D, and basically, what it is, it's a N64 console, not authorized by Nintendo, but basically, it's their own version of the N64, and
Hmm.
it's made for today's TVs. You put in your old cartridges on there,
Oh,
and they look, okay, I guess, according to Analog, it's going to be like 8 times the resolution. It's going to look crispy. It's
oh,
going to
they
look nice.
upscaling it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The only thing is that it's $250, which I guess was the price of the N64 when it first came out.
You know
But
what? I if I didn't still have I still have a working N64, so
cool.
I have no interest in like yeah,
Yes.
I wouldn't buy that
And
just because
that's
I have a working N64 still.
And that's the thing, though, is like, they're part of like the nostalgia of the N64 is that it looked the way that it did, and you played it the way that it was supposed to be played on a
Yeah.
tube TV, and it looked like, it would look blurry as hell.
Yep.
And there's a part of me that does want to see it, like, because it's easy to like emulate games nowadays, like, on your computer or something like that.
Yeah.
But to see like your old cartridges and to just put it in a machine and it'll look like pretty on like an HD TV, like your
Hmm.
OLEDs or whatever. Like there's an appeal to
Maybe.
that. There's an appeal to
Yeah.
that. But at the same time, it's like it's not gonna feel the same because you have these memories of like your childhood, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have like these memories of like playing with your friends and like getting on that 4-player split screen of GoldenEye and doing the cardboard thing where you're like, did you ever do the cardboard thing, Jacques?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Oh God, you do you know about it though?
Yeah, we didn't do it though.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So for people who don't know, back in the days when I played GoldenEye with my friends, there's that split screen multiplayer, right? And you're like there was 4 players, and the way that we did is we would tape these pieces of cardboard so that we couldn't see each other's side of the screen. It was a mess. It didn't really
Mm.
work because if you
I was
think
gonna
about it,
say, yeah.
if you think about it, it's really easy to just peek at the other side or to like look below, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't actually work, but we tried it. We tried it,
Yeah, we'd
but it
have to
was
situate everybody like one
it
person here, one person there, one person down below, one person down below.
yeah,
That's all they would ever work.
and it never worked. But we tried. We tried to make it work, so we
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to like see each other. Like we wouldn't be able to see each other's screen, so it would make it more interesting, right? But yeah, no, like you're not gonna get like, what are you gonna do? Do that with like an with an OLED TV? I don't know,
No.
man. Like it's you're not you're definitely not gonna do that with that because you don't want to mess up your TV first of all. And it's so I like the idea, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's like I don't know if I really want that because it's not gonna have the same magic as it was when you were younger. And part of
Yeah.
it is just because we're
No.
we're old. Part of it is just because of like us being like up there in age, but
Yeah.
like it's different now for like kids because they have like they can play online. Like multiplayer in person just isn't the same. Like
Yeah,
I
like
feel
most kids will never understand the joy of a LAN party.
yeah. But the other thing I do want to point out though, Jacques, is like along with like that console, they're releasing a different version of the controller. You know how like the controller of the N64 had like that funky 3-prong, like
Yeah,
it had
yeah.
like this. There was like that that thing in the middle, and you used it for like the animal stick and everything.
Hmm.
The controller that they're releasing alongside this console is going to look like your standard Xbox, PlayStation 5 controller, but with 6 buttons on the
Oh.
front. Yeah, and it's gonna be like it's just, and the analog stick is like where it would be on like on an Xbox. And I thought to myself, well, that's the other thing is like, okay, cool, you're gonna do that, and it's not gonna have the same. Again, it's just gonna look. It's not gonna have the same magic again. Like I know the N64 controller, people had a lot of like bad things to say about it, and to be fair, they weren't the most durable of controllers. The analog sticks kind of just
Yeah.
died after a while. So, but at the same time, it's like again, that's part of like the appeal of like back in the days. It's like you had to make it work. You had to like
Yeah,
figure it out.
like, yeah. you were like, gosh, I wonder, like, I'm trying to think now that my N64 controllers have drift the way that we talk about drift
Yeah,
these days with like
yeah.
the Switch, like how like drift on the Switch is such a big conversation. I'm like, man, did I have drift back then and I just didn't know what it was?
Yeah, you're like you're just making it. You're trying to make it work because you're like, you know how much controllers cost. Like you're trying to ask your
Right,
parents for like
right.
another controller. You're like, no, you're gonna try to make this work. I don't care like how bad the drift is.
Where
You're
it was
gonna
like,
try to
you
figure this
broke
out.
this, you broke this. Now you play with it as it is. Yeah.
And that was the other selling point of those controllers is apparently like they're like no drift. It's not gonna drift because
Uh,
they have like the controllers now. They have like the special. I think it's called Hall effect sticks, and
oh,
they figured out a way to make sure that drift doesn't happen. So and notice that you also pointed out the Switch has that problem. It's like a very Nintendo
a
problem.
Nintendo thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. But anyways,
Cold
yeah,
game.
no, I
Cold game.
cold game. Like, you know, I am interested. Like pre-order, I don't know, pre-orders already started for it. Like I might consider picking it up, but at the same time, it's I want to say I'm excited, but I'm also like, I could also pass on it. So yeah, I just
Yeah, like it's one of
it's
those.
just one of
It would be like, all right, if it'd be cool to have one, but I
yeah.
don't know if I'm gonna try and get one. I guess if that
Yeah.
makes
Like
sense.
I like when Analog made it for the Sega Genesis, I did buy that because my original Japanese Sega Genesis, which was called the Mega Drive, doesn't work anymore. So I, went out and bought like the Analog. So like, I could
Uh,
play my old Sega Genesis games in like HD and all that stuff. And it's cool
that's
for the first
cool.
couple for the first 5 minutes, and then you're like, well, okay, I did it. Like that's also the part of it is like you spend this much money, you buy it, and then you put the games in, and you're like, okay, cool. I had my fun with it for like 5 minutes, and then it's like, okay, well,
Uh,
that's just how it goes sometimes.
does it? Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna ask more questions, but I don't need to ask more questions because then I'm gonna want one. So I'm not gonna ask anything else. I'll just wait.
With
I'll just keep. I'll keep it pushing. Move on to the next
yeah,
thing.
move on to the next thing. All right, Jacques. So it is time for everybody's favorite sneaker
Pew, pew, pew,
segment.
pew, 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 pew.
It's Sneaker Mount Rushmore plus time.
Pew, 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 pew. I think I won last time. I don't know for
How
sure, but I feel
dare
like I
you?
did.
Yeah, you
I
did
think
win. You won by one vote. You happy? You happy
I
now? You won
I
by one vote.
appreciate it. People get it. People get it.
Unbelievable. You won by one vote. I'm just like, ugh.
People get it. Look, people get it.
It's I can't. I thought I did well. I thought I had it. I thought I had it in the bag,
I don't know why you would think that, but
and
it's terrible. That's terrible
because
for
I
you
thought
to
I
think
did.
that.
I thought I thought I had it, man. I thought I had
Well,
it, but yeah.
well,
So thank you for anybody who votes, though. I really do appreciate it. We
I do
really
appreciate the
appreciate
votes.
the
Yeah,
votes.
we do
We
appreciate the
appreciate
votes for
we
sure.
appreciate the votes, all the comments, and people sharing their Rushmores. We greatly appreciate that. So
Yeah, that's dope.
today, Jacques, we are going to do the signature shoe sneaker logo Mount
Okay.
Rushmore Plus. So what we're gonna do is, obviously this is weird. We can't do like one OG, non-OG. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
that. So in this case, I thought it'd be interesting if we did it one logo from the 80s, one from the 90s, one from the 2000s, one from the 2010s, and then one wild card because the 2020s aren't done yet.
Uh, okay.
So, um, who went first last week? Did you go first or did I go first? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because it's the 80s, and we both have one answer.
Yeah, jump man, obviously.
Jump in. I mean, there's really no other choice. And really,
Yeah.
if there was another choice, we'd still pick the Jumpman anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's hard to, yeah, there's no denying the jump man for the
there's
80s.
there's no denying the Jumpman. So I think I did go first last week though, Jacques. So
No, I
you will
think I
go
went first.
first. Oh, did you go first? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I'll go first. All right, so for my pick for the 90s signature logo, I think I'll go with the Air Penny, the 1 cent.
Uh,
I
that's a
mean,
good one. That's a good one.
that's about as that's the best. Well, it's
Okay.
I actually like it better than the Jumpman, but we don't say that out loud.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, but I hear you. I'm gonna have to go with King Griffey then.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's that I you know what that people might actually prefer that over the 1 cent, and I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Swingman is a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
All right, so for the 2000s, I could go with the Kobe's. I could go with the Nike Kobe one, the sheath
Mhm.
logo, but I'm gonna go with the Adidas Kobe logo, the Froby, the
Oh,
the
that's
one that's a
good. The one
silhouette
with
with
the
his
one with the
afro.
pick with the apple pick.
Yeah, was there a pick on it? Was it? Oh God, was there a pick? I've never actually seen the pick. Oh gosh,
Oh, did I
but
see one?
it.
I think so.
Wait. Oh gosh, if there's one it with a pick, I think that'd be even better. But yeah, but I'm still gonna go with the Froby,
Okay.
the Adidas logo with the silhouette with when he still had the afro and everything. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. I think this was the 2000s. No. Wait, when was Iverson? Was Iverson in the 2000s?
Well,
Wait,
technically it's
when
like late '90s.
late
It
90s?
might have been.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then the 2000s, was Chris Paul the
Yeah, Chris Paul would be in the
2000s?
2000s. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That'd be in the
CP,
2000s? Okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with
CP3. Yeah.
CP3. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
go with CP3.
CP3. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so that is your pick for the 2000s. And
Yeah,
then for
and
the
then
2010s,
2010s.
that's a little tough. Even though we were around it all the time, like again, this was
Oh,
like the era of like
I know mine.
everybody goes with like, their what's it called? Everybody goes with like, their the jersey number and their initials, and people just go with that, and it's
Yeah.
just like I can't really see that's the thing is I can't really think of one right now. So I'm just gonna go look this up really quick.
So while you're looking up, I'm gonna go with mine then. I'm gonna go with D
Okay.
Rose.
Ah, dang it. You're right. That is
Hey,
darn. If I had just seen that right on time, I would have gone with that.
and we just talked
Ah,
about him last week too, so
I know, right? We
another
did.
2 weeks
Right.
ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We talked
Something like
about the
that.
logos, and the D Rose logo was definitely one of those. That was a good one. All right,
Yep.
so I'm just looking through this now. Um, I'm gonna go with the Kawhi, the claw, the one that he had for like a couple of minutes
Oh, the
before he moved to
Jordan
New
one,
Balance.
like the hand.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The
Yeah.
Jordan logo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. I think I wish he had actually got to go to New Balance with that. I think it would have
Um,
turned out a lot better. I think a lot of things for fortunes for Kawhi would have turned out better at New Balance. Even though it is, I think I like New Balance Kawhi's, but I like it a lot better if it had that claw logo.
that claw logo. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and then
All
on
right,
wild card.
the
Are we
wild
on wild
card.
card? Okay.
Yes, yes,
Do you have yours? I know mine. I have
yes.
two.
I
I
have.
actually have two, but I'll see. I don't know if you're gonna say one of them.
Okay. All right. So for my wild card, I'm gonna go with Tiger Woods, the TW.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have said
yeah.
that one
So
during the night. Oh, that'd have been a sick one. Well, the
that would have
TW,
been the
that was,
2000s. That was the
like I said,
2000s. That would be the
yeah,
2000s.
that would have been the 2000s. Okay. All right, that's a good one. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah.
go with Stan Smith.
Ah, that is a good one. That is a good one. You don't really think about it as like a signature logo, but it is. It's
Yeah.
like it's the first. It's the first signature logo. Well,
Well, Chuck
was Chuck
Taylor
Taylor?
probably.
Chuck Taylor.
Probably
Yeah,
Chuck
yeah,
Taylor
yeah, yeah,
probably be
yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, but the Stan Smith is actually a signature logo. But for some reason, we don't really think about it as a signature logo. We think, oh well,
No?
that's Stan
Yeah.
Smith's face. But
Yep.
it's a logo.
But
It's
that's his
basically a
logo.
logo.
Yeah, it's his face.
Yeah,
His face
yeah,
is the logo. Yeah.
yeah, and you can't really do much better than that, really. I mean, besides the Jumpman, it's
Oh, you
iconic.
know what? Another one we could have did. I just thought
Hmm.
about this. Jack Purcell's.
Which one? What does Jack Purcell's look like?
It's just his. It's just his signature. But
Ah,
it's
okay.
but it's like a old Converse sneaker, just white with um like the
Mm.
little bump at the toe. I don't know what it's called. I don't even know what it's called.
Oh,
But it's
gotcha, gotcha,
probably
gotcha.
terrible to say as a sneaker guy. But yeah,
Yeah, we all have our blind spot. I didn't even know I couldn't even remember what it was. So it is what it is.
yeah. I don't think they
But
make.
anyway,
Gosh, I don't even think they make them anymore. I'm gonna look that up. I wonder if they make Jack Purcell's anymore.
okay. So now we need to reach out to Converse too, be like, hey, we got some ideas.
Do they still make
Well,
them? I wonder. Do they still? Oh
anyways,
yeah, they still make them. Yeah, they're like
yeah.
$70. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so yeah, no, that was a good one. I think you know, logos, that's just one of those things that stand the test of, like, you know, a really good one stands the test of time, and I think we
Yeah.
picked a pretty good batch of those.
Yeah. I think
And
we
we
got some
tried our
good ones.
best. Yeah, I think we tried our best to avoid like the whole logo. I mean, the whole like initial. I mean, we I think yours was a CP3, but like, you know, we
Yeah,
as much as we try.
CP3.
It might be. It's the
Yeah.
best one of those. I'll be honest. Like, it's the best one of those. Like, it's one of the best
Let
one
me
of
see.
those. Like, there's a couple ones that just I really, no offense to like the PGs or like the original Steph Currys, like the SC30. I
Yeah.
That really did nothing to me. Like the new Curry logo, the Curry brand logo, I think is pretty cool. But
Yeah.
the that first one just really did nothing for me.
Luka wasn't bad. The
Hmm,
77, like the 7-7 thing, like that's not terrible. Like that's
it's
not.
an attempt. It's an attempt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at like some of these right now, and some of these are just not great, dude. Like, you remember the Dwight Howards? It was like just his
What was
initial
it? I don't know.
DH
I
and then
don't.
flipped over. It's like DH and then DH flipped. Like, it's basically just like a mirror image of each
Oh
other.
no, I don't remember that one.
And it's
Shaq, we
just,
didn't do Shaq.
oh
Shaq's
yeah,
logo
the
was a
dunk
good
man,
one.
the dunk
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's a good one. LeBron, LeBron's LJ with the crown. Like, I mean, it's funny because I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't even think to use that as like my pick for the 2000s. It's just, you know,
Yeah, that would have
it's
been a good
okay.
2000s one.
Yeah, it's a good
Uh,
one, but like I just, again, it's like it's not something I'm like really looking for. It's not really like the first one that's come to mind, you know. And which is a
the
weird thing to
Kobe,
say
the
about.
Kobe logo. We didn't talk.
Oh
Did
no,
you
the
say?
Kobe.
We didn't
Well,
say
I
the
went with
Kobe
the
logo.
Adidas. I
You
was
went
gonna
with the
go with that,
Adidas,
but then
yeah.
yeah, but I went with the Adidas. But KD's, you know,
Yeah,
it's
it's just
just KD.
literally just KD.
KD. So I mean,
Um,
the moral of the moral of the story here is sneaker brands. Y'all need to step up your game
Wait,
with the
Donovan
this
Mitchell
logo
has
thing.
the spider thing though, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one
That's
of
a good.
those.
That's a good one.
The spider. Yeah, that's a good one. Wemby's alien thing. I don't know yet. I think I need to see it actually on like a signature shoe. I mean, because he has like, you know, those I forget what it was,
Oh
the GT
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have
hustles.
a shoe yet, so we that doesn't
Yeah,
really count yet.
yeah,
So we can't
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
count his.
So we don't know if that's actually going to be like his logo that's going to show up on his eventual signature shoe. So it's just like the alien, the basketball alien thing.
Yeah. Hopefully they
So
turn that
well,
into something. I feel like that's a
yeah.
good marketing thing.
I think Kyrie's new Anta logo. I think I like those. I think those are
Oh, the
promising.
KK, the back, like the K back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I like those better than like the Nike ones. But yeah, you know, logos. It's tough. I get it. I get why like designers kind of are like constricted, and they have to like maybe find a way to integrate like everybody's like initials and numbers and all that stuff because it's
Yeah.
like it's easy. But at the same time, I'm like, I hope we can like get back to, you know,
Something that
trying to,
translates a little easier,
yeah,
but
something's a little bit more transcendent,
speaks,
you know, like something
yeah,
that, yeah,
speaks more to the personality of the person as opposed to just their
exactly.
number.
Like, we don't even think twice about it anymore, but we see the jump man in football uniforms. It's like,
Yeah.
it just, we don't even like, we don't even say like, oh, that's weird. It's like, no, that makes sense because the jump man
Yep.
is, you know, again, transcendent. It just
Yeah.
makes like,
That's like I could we could see the Kobe logo. I wouldn't mind seeing the Kobe
oh,
logo on
absolutely.
on a football jersey. That would be kind of sick, or a baseball jersey, or anything, or anything.
And you
That
see
it's
all of
not like
these
a
football,
number. Yeah.
yeah, and you see all of these football players now who wear these Kobe cleats, and it would not be surprising to me if like at some point, like, you know, Nike and like the LA Rams, like they team up and like they maybe like put together
Oh
like a Kobe
yeah.
something, you know, because
That would
LA,
be
you know,
sick.
it would just make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or the Chargers, even though like I don't know how people really check for the Chargers here in LA, it's still weird for me that they're here.
Yeah. Whatever.
But you know, the Rams, I think the Rams and Kobe, like I think that could be something, or you know, just something like that. I think that would be pretty neat.
Yeah,
But
that'd be dope.
yeah, anyways, that is it for this episode of the Too Hard to Pass podcast.
Word
I was
up.
okay, for a second there I was about to say an international edition.
We're interstate edition, I guess.
Yes,
Interstate.
that's
The
actually the
interstate.
that's actually, yes, that is the correct this interstate edition of the
Interstate edition.
Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am Juan Martinez. Like, comment, subscribe, put all the good stuff out there. Leave the
Leave the
comments and
reviews.
leave
Give
the
us five
reviews. Five
stars.
star, five
Yeah.
stars. Greatly appreciate that. And Jacques, it's your turn to shamelessly plug.
Yeah, I'm Slade, aka Cousteau, out here in San Antonio, Texas right now. It is a little past midnight, so as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to wrap it up and go to bed. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Glad you tuned in with us and that you guys are enjoying the show. We put a lot of energy into it, and Juan does an amazing job producing this show and making sure that it happens. So I'm glad to be here, glad to be a part of it, glad you guys are listening, and let us know if we can make this show better for you, because we want to make it the best sneaker podcast out there. With that being said, we'll see you guys.
We want to take it on the road, people. We want to take it on the road.
Yes, that too. We'll see you.
We want to be interstate too.
We want to be interstate too. With that being said, we're out of here, and we'll see you guys, or hopefully talk to you guys next time. Peace.
All right. We out. We out.
All right, I gotta put my lampshade back together here. I took off the lampshade so I can get some light.
Oh my God.